All right, everybody, we're coming back from the break. My name is Rex Perry, the host and creator of the show. It's called the Business to Business Network Show. We talk business, politics, and economics. We do a lot of real estate interviews because real estate is the engine of business. If you look at it, when a real estate agent sells a home, a lot of ripple effects, furniture, cars, lending, title, all kinds of different benefits of different businesses. So our next guest is Lisa. Lisa, give us your last name. Introduce yourself.
Yes, Lisa Schofield, and I'm a associate broker with eXp Realty.
Excellent. And Danny, our lender?
Yeah, Daniel Jaramillo. I'm the CEO of Right Away Lending Corp.
Excellent. Now, come right up to it. So what the key here is, tell us a little bit about what you're experiencing in the market right now.
We're experiencing a lot of fear, a lot of fear in the price ranges below the luxury market, and that's different in every city and every area. But typically what we're hearing from the buyers are, we're going to wait, or we're not sure. They're listening to the news. They think that there's going to be a crash. There's a lot of fear. At the same time, there's a lot of buyers taking advantage of this lull, which we believe is going to be a very short lull within the past 20 years.
And you've got sellers that are motivated, willing to give incentives. In fact, you've come up with some interesting marketing ideas. Tell us about that.
Yeah, the sellers are a lot easier to negotiate with. And what they're doing now is they're offering the buyers incentives such as rate buy downs, where they will reduce their interest rate so the mortgage payment is less for the buyer, and they'll also sometimes pay for the closing costs in addition to that. It just depends on the situation and the transaction.
Excellent. And let's talk about interest rates and programs and what you got going.
Interest rates, programs. If you guys want me to elaborate just generally?
Yeah.
Well, interest rates, there's a lot of teeter-tottering with that. A lot of people think that they were supposed to go down over the last few months, last 6 months. They've been kind of holding pretty steady. They've trickled down slightly over the last, I'd say, 2 to 4 weeks. That's why a lot of people are taking advantage of the rate buy downs right now. Sellers are offering a lot more incentives than they usually do. It's a little bit more advantageous for a buyer to get in now because sellers are more willing to they're seeing a lot longer times if they're not paying those closing costs. So the 2-1 buy down is really good because if the seller pays a lot of concessions, it allows the buyer to use the 2-1 buy down, which means try to make it as simple as possible, where let's say we give somebody a 6.5% interest rate. If they do a 2-1 buy down, their interest rate for the first year is 2% less than the 6.5. So they would start out on that first year with the 4.5% rate.
Yeah.
And then the next year it would go up to a 5.5%. And where the seller concessions come in on that is the savings that they have on that 2% differential on the rate. Let's say it's $10,000. That would be part of the cost that the seller would take on to cover. So $10,000 in savings to the buyer.
Gets them in the door.
And then that year, let's say the rates do start to go down, they could refinance out of that, but they've also saved that monthly payment, and they didn't even pay for it. The seller did.
This is fantastic. And again, that's out there. And rates, really, if you think about it, everybody got spoiled during this COVID crash. I mean, but in reality, 5, 6, 7% is average.
Yes.
Now, I don't want to show my age here, but I started in real estate in 1978. And in 1980, I was a mortgage lender, 15% 30-year fixed FHA. And there was an article in the Wall Street Journal in the 80s that said, you will never see single-digit interest rates again in mortgages. And look how things change. Right. So the key here is the cost of lumber, the cost of paint, the cost of everything to build a house has gone up. So if you can get into a house that you can afford, it just continues to increase. Now, you've had some interesting some sales and different things. Tell us a little bit about your personal experience, without mentioning names, some of the people you've worked with recently.
In regards to
closings and success of, didn't you have a recent listing that you just took on, and you wanted to kind of promote that a little bit?
Yeah, I did want to promote that one, and another one that I feel has been left behind a little bit. We've done a lot of marketing on it, and the seller is offering to buy down the rate. They are also offering to help with the closing costs. And it's a move-in ready house. It's only listed at $339.
What intersection? What part of town?
It's actually in the city of Maricopa.
Okay.
This one.
Okay.
They purchased it from me back in 2016. So they came back and said, yeah, we're ready to move. And it's across from a park. It's move-in ready. It's got a huge loft. So it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2.5 bath, and 2-car garage attached. It's in great condition.
And Maricopa has grown so much. I mean, shopping, everything that you ever need is down there. I mean, it's all new property, brand new.
Yeah.
Now, you've worked in these different financing, so if you're working with a buyer, they need to get pre-qualified first.
Absolutely. See, one of the main things is that we found is that the majority of buyers will go to their agent first.
Yes.
And that we do see a lot of agents out there that do things that we don't really preach. They like to talk about rates. They like to talk about financing. Come to me if you're ready to buy. Well, they still need to point them in the direction of a very good experienced loan officer, which typically are brokers.
Yes.
9 times out of 10.
And explain a broker versus a bank lender, like from Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo, you could walk into a Wells Fargo. They have their own in-house underwriters. They have their own paper. As a broker, we have the ability to shop with over 80 lenders.
Yeah.
Sometimes over 100 lenders.
With multiple programs.
Multiple programs, creative financing, all the down payment assistance
Work
programs.
with different credit rates.
Absolutely. And actually, we have banks that even do no FICO programs.
Oh.
We have banks that will do no Social Security number. They have ITIN, foreign national programs. It's great for small business owners, investors, people from that aren't even from this country that have they pay taxes and they have they invest in the United States. We can do financing for that. So there's a lot of different things. We also if we have people who are credit challenged. If we feel that they can get into a house now and refinance later, we will do that, or we will refer them to a credit building company and help them get their credit healthier and bring them back over, and we'll get them in the house that they need and the payment they deserve.
Fantastic. And Lisa, you had a second listing you wanted to talk about.
I do have a second listing. It's not on the market yet. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a casita, so it could actually be a 4-bedroom, and there's a pool, couple of pergolas in the backyard, and it's a single level.
Intersection, where's this at?
This is, say it's Cactus and the I-17,
Okay.
a little bit west of that, 23rd Ave.
Okay.
And it's completely remodeled inside, gorgeous with vaulted ceilings.
What kind of price on that one?
$555.
Wow, that's a very, very
Yeah.
good deal. A guesstimated just high and low payment on something like that.
I'd say at $555 with on a typical conventional loan, minimum down payment or FHA loan, you're probably looking at somewhere in the high 3,000s, low 4,000s, somewhere in that area.
Fantastic. You guys, this has been a great segment. Let's get a phone number. How can people reach you, Lisa?
You can always reach me. I've had this phone number for 25 years as a realtor, and it's 480-540-1443.
One more time.
480-540-1443.
And Danny.
Danny Jaramillo, Right Away Lending, 602-465-2800, Arizona, Florida, Texas, Michigan, and Washington. You can call me anytime.
Phone number one more time.
602-465-2800.
You guys, this has been a great segment. Thank you so much for coming down. Everybody, we got to take a break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.